Hey, what's up, everybody? Probably helps if I unmute the microphone. How's everybody doing tonight? Thank you for joining me on a Friday night to do some sculpting and talking about comic book stuff and nerd stuff in general. I appreciate you. So, if you were here either yesterday for my ZBrush live stream or last Friday for my last Friday night drop, I've been working on Misty Night. So, got some reference images here of her, and kind of started off last week looking like this. Just did a kind of a paint over to get an idea of what her ear is going to look like. And this is one of my more stylized pieces. If you're not familiar with my work, I usually do stuff that's more realistic, but I am really liking this stylized look, like this Black Dynamite I did a while ago with my friend Brad. And now I'm getting all of these guys. So if you nice. Hey, what's up, Alberto? Yeah, so if you are on either Facebook or Twitch, for whatever reason, the chat for my multi-stream thing is kind of whack here. Nice. I do see Nazumi 1977 on Twitch. Yeah, so what I'm going to do is I will be responding to the chat mostly on YouTube, and Facebook is just, I don't know what's going on with Facebook. So anyway, let's get into it. I think yesterday I kind of dropped off here with her as far as this turnaround is concerned. Getting more detail from her costume. Let me know if the music is too loud, by the way, you guys, because it's kind of loud for me. Maybe, you know what? Let's do this. I'll just turn it down on my end. There you go. With that. Yeah, so I've been using this image here as the reference for her suit. I really like that suit. I haven't followed Misty Knight in a long time, so I'm not sure exactly what the most current gear is. I'm familiar with like the silver robot arm, or mechanical arm rather, like this, the old school joint, but I know the newer one, she has a gold arm, and I'm kind of feeling that. So where I left off yesterday in ZBrush was I started working on a shotgun for her to hold, and the pose I want to go with, I really like this pose. An artist has Zazie Beats here with a shotgun. I'm digging that. Let's see, Specky Nation, what's up? Man, music's a little loud. Let's turn it down. Thank you. See, that's the kind of feedback I'm looking for. Let's turn that down a little bit. Let me know if that's better. What is up, All Night Creative? Okay, cool. So let's do this thing. I'm gonna take a sip of water real quick. And let's get into the a little more on this gun, and then I can let's pose her up. So for whatever reason, it flipped to the wrong side, and I want to get my chat back up on top. Okay, that's not going to stay on top. I know as soon as I click. Yep, there it goes. Sorry. All right, so just take my word for it. I'm looking at the chat on the side there. All right. So this is kind of yesterday what I was doing with the gun. I just got some poly, like a polysphere and some cubes, some cylinders, and I started making this real makeshift gun. Did a little more detailing to it, and if I turn on the Boolean, you can see that it's starting to get a little more like what I want. Now, since then, I've found, oh, one of the viewers yesterday told me it's a Franchi Spas 12, which is like a dope, very cool tactical shotgun. I'm sure I butchered that. I don't pronounce things good, you guys. So if I butcher your screen name, it's no offense. All right. So I think last time, if I turn on dynamic, okay, it must not have saved what I did. All right, so let's start detailing these the muzzles, I guess. This. All right. Can you tell them I'm a big gun guy? The thing where the bullets come out of the front, that part. Hey, thanks, man. It looks like you've been to the gym. Not hardly, if you only knew. Worst shape ever. Thank you, Pandemic. All right. So yeah, no, what I did, I think at the end of my stream yesterday was I just kind of isolated the ends. So what I'm going to show you is how I do all my hard surface stuff, basically. And I remember I had an issue yesterday with, all right, let's do this. First, I'm going to duplicate one of these pieces, this top piece here. Just duplicate it. Just make a copy. And I want that to be smaller because that's going to fill in this thing. If you don't know, what I'm going to do with this is I'm printing, doing 3D prints of this. And my good buddy Brad, who I mention all the time, was going to send me a picture of the Iron Fist. Like he's been printing out this Iron Fist in resin as like a quarter scale, so like this big, and it looks amazing. But he's like cutting off the supports now and cleaning it up, so I don't know if it's quite ready to show yet. When I have that, I'll show it. It's I can't wait to get my hands on it. All right, so let's just auto group these. That. And I want to isolate just the end caps on these. Let's do this, and then I can get rid of this part. All right, so if we look now, if I was to turn on double-sided, you can see that now I have just the end caps alone. I don't want these. So I'm going to isolate everything except for those. I didn't do that one. All right, so now it's just these end caps. If I wanted to, I could group them so it'd be easier to select next time, but it doesn't matter because I'm just going to delete them. So delete hidden. And I'm going to turn off double. And what I want to do now is I'm going to isolate and move the this insert piece to its own layer, right? So I'll just split unmasked parts, and then I can jump back down here. The reason I did that is because I want to flip the geometry, and then I'm going to extrude it. So go to extrude. I'll just say all polygons. And then I do this. So now I have something that looks a little more like the reference. Just look at some of these pictures. I got a lot of pictures here, so let's get something that's gonna. All right, so it looks like that bottom one is gonna have it's gonna have a cap on it. And I don't know that well, I'm gonna be printing this and it's gonna be small, so it's gonna be more beefy than the picture here. Just keep that in mind. Now what I can do is I can crease the ends. So I'm just clicking on this edge loop, creasing inside and outside. And so now when I go to do dynamic smooth, it keeps its shape. Check the chat, see if I missed anything. Charlie's Angels feeling, absolutely. Yeah, I'm sure that's what they went for. Let's see. Yesterday. Oh, okay. That's what's up, man. All right. So now we have the inside, the outside. What I'm going to do is turn on the rest of my gun. And the reason it gets these lines on there like that is because I have the live booleans enabled. If I turn that off, you can see the pieces that I used to cut into the gun. So I love live boolean because like turn it on now and it looks like something. So I'll commit to all that later on, but for now I want these barrels to be a little larger, I think. Probably longer. All right. So now I'm just going to auto group these again. So now they're just two separate groups. I don't have the inner edges and the outer edges. I can always isolate those later. But what I want to do is mask the top barrel and actually copy it. And then I can kind of get the barrel of this thing. Did I move this? I sure did. Let's try that again. Okay, so now I'll copy it. Well, this is off center. Okay. Oh no, nope, nope, I see what I'm doing. All right. I have symmetry turned on, so it's not centering my gizmo. So now if I turn off symmetry and center it, there you go. That's where I want it. There you go. That's what I want. And this is going to be close. It's not going to be exactly the gun, but close enough that if you looked at it, you'd be like, that kind of looks like the thing that you wanted it to be. All right. So because these are their own poly groups, if I just hold down Alt and click on them with the gizmo, it isolates everything else. So now I can do something like copy this piece, maybe shrink it down a little bit and put it here. That. And now I can start to, let's, you know what, group it. So now what I can do is I can go and add some loops. I just made a lightsaber the other day for a client, and I had to do something like this. I was working on Darth Maul's lightsaber, and it's amazing how just adding some loops and extruding them gives you exactly what you want. So I'm just gonna give this some individual poly groups by poly loop, like that. And now I can do something like extrude this out. I want to do it by poly group, by the way. Make that one kind of big. Make this one maybe, I'll use, I'm going to use Z, or I'm sorry, QMesh. While that's saving, I'm going to get a sip of water. Check the chat. How you made the trim effect around the piece of the barrel? The whole thing. What trim? Oops, I didn't mean to hit that. What trim are you talking about? The this piece here, or are you talking about the Boolean stuff? I'm going to be doing more of that, by the way. just let me know. Yeah, so I don't want to join that, but I do want to bring it out a little bit like that. And just kind of get these shapes here. Maybe this one, I'll push it. Oops, let's first polygroup it. And I'll polygroup this something else. Let's add an insert an edge loop here and polygroup that as a different color. So now I can maybe extrude this out a little bit and push this in a little bit like that. So because I don't have extra holding lines, this is going to look real soft when I turn on dynamic. Like it looks like a flashlight, right? So I don't really want that. So what I'm going to do is I will add a few holding lines and some bevels too. Let's do some bevels. Bevels makes everything look better, actually. So if I hover over the edge, switch to bevel, then I can do something like that. And if I just repeat it, just click, it remembers the depth of the last bevel and it'll just repeat it over and over again. That. So we'll give these few bevels so it catches the light kind of nice. That. And now we can add some either creases or holding lines. So maybe what I'll do is I'll turn my crease level down a little bit. Maybe I'll set it to 2. And then I can go and crease these edges and they'll hold them. So just to show you the difference, if you guys don't do this or you're new to like box modeling stuff, without any holding lines or creases, if I hit dynamic here, it gets, you know, it doesn't really hold those forms very well. But if I crease, I'll crease here. Let's crease this and the bevel also. Here, here, and here. So now look at the difference. It's sharp. It's much sharper. And I can even smooth it a little more and it retains that, that crease. So I'm gonna come over here. Did I crease that? I didn't mean to. I meant to do this one. Oops. To do this. Oh, that's cut in a little bit. I didn't mean for that to happen. Okay. So it looks like when I did the bevel, it kind of pushed that edge in. That's easy enough to fix. So I'll just go to the insert, hover over an edge, and go to insert. Let's isolate this so it's a little easier to see. And now if I just delete a couple of these edges, this one and this one, that kind of fixed the problem that I was having. Delete that. All right, so now what I can do is, I think I want to slide the edge now because it looks like it's pushed in a little bit. So I'll just hover over that edge, go to slide, edge loop complete, and now I can kind of pull that back out to where I want it. And I can bevel this all over again. So bevel, there you go. All right, so that's what I wanted. You can go back to creasing. So crease, crease. Now let's look at it. It's looking much better in those areas. If I turn off polygroup, you can see the difference between this part that's not creased and the parts that are. Let's just finish that up. Crease. Oh, you know what? It did it here too. That's weird. All right. Let me hide this. There you go. Turn my polygroups back on. And if I turn on double, it'll be a little easier to see what's happening. I'm just concerned with this part here. I don't want this cut in piece. So let's make my brush a little smaller. Let's hide this. There you go. So now I can delete this, delete this, and delete this. Now if I unhide everything, it all comes back. All right, let's crease this. And I think I have crease there. Let's add another one. Crease. I just have the front part to do. All right, it's trying to extrude the poly group. So when it does that, one thing I can do is set that to do nothing, and then I can crease what I want to crease. Right. And now if we turn on dynamic, it looks like that, which is more like what we want for the bottom piece. And unhide. Oh no, I guess that piece isn't hidden. All right. So so that's a little closer. And now we can do the top too. Let's see what else is going on. What do you click to cycle colors when using polyloop? Oh, I'll show you. So let's insert a couple of loops here. This one, maybe one here, here, and then maybe a couple here, like that. So what I'm doing to cycle through those colors, because it always does something that's almost the same exact color, is I will click and hold down the control, and that cycles through the colors for you. If you're on a Mac, command. All right, and then this one I want to be something else. So extrude. I'm gonna say, so I don't have that same problem I had before. I'm gonna use Q mesh and then pull this out a little. And then for this, I'm going to insert it in a little, like that. Okay. And because I already have a loop here, I'm just going to slide this loop down to give me that bevel that I want. Slide it down a little bit. Okay. Then the other areas, I can just throw a bevel on it. Before I bevel, let's crease these. Might be faster to do it this way. Okay. All right, so now we can bevel. And that might delete the crease. Yeah, it sure did. All right, that was a waste of time. Click, click, click. All right. And now crease. So this part's a little time consuming, but the thing about it is it's so clean when it's done that, I mean, it really is worth the effort. All right, so let's switch back. While it's saving, I'm gonna get a sip of water. Okay, let's see what I missed. More of the piece that involves the underbarrel, the one which has some round edges. How'd you make the chamfer in ZBrush? Oh, I'll show you. All right, so you're talking about this piece here. If I turn off dynamic, you can see and solo it out, it's just some edge loops that's holding that shape. And then when you turn on dynamic subdivision and a bevel, right, you'll turn on dynamic subdivision and it kind of keeps the form that I want, which is close to this thing, right? It's close, no cigar, but it, I turn off dynamic. Did I apply it? Yeah, I did. Turn off dynamic. Okay. So if I were to come over here and look at, I didn't have these pictures yesterday either. These are like really good reference. But I could do stuff like slide some of these edges now. So slide edge loop complete, and I can really dial this in to be exactly what it's supposed to be. Make it look a little more like the image. Maybe give that a little sharper line to hold there and there. And then even maybe bring this down a little bit. And then I have something that's a little closer maybe. The whole slide looks like it's a little tall, so maybe do something like that. And then these are going to have to move up. That, so it's closer. I'll Boolean again and turn off the polyframe. Okay. So it looks like I missed a cut here that kind of goes in the front of this piece. So let's add that real quick. Come back over here. Now, when I made this a little flatter, it looks like this top bevel got distorted. It's a little too short now. So I can go in and turn off dynamic, select that part, and just raise it up. Raise it up. There you go. So that's that. There's a piece I'm going to duplicate. Let's see. Let's do this. I will just duplicate this piece. This is how I do all my hard surface stuff. Helmets, armor, everything. So I just duplicated this piece. I'm going to turn it into a cube. Okay, select the cube. And on polyframe. Turn off live boolean. Center my gizmo on it and move it over where I want it. So now the only thing is I'm not going to have my bevel on it. So I'll probably end up having to remake the bevel on this, but it's not that deep. And like I said, I want to work on Misty. I don't want to work on this gun. So I'm not going to spend too much time doing this. But if I can just get it close enough, then mission accomplished. All right, so I'll set this to negative. I'm not sure what else it's going to affect, like I said before, but let's turn off the poly group. Let's turn on Boolean. Yeah, so that went through the slide that's above it. I don't want that to happen, so I'll select that. And I want that to be below. I want that to be below this cut-in piece. So let's grab that. and move it down. Okay, we'll grab the little details. Now they have to be moved down because they need to be above the slide in order for them to work properly. And what? Oh, that's the wrong piece. What is that I just? Let's see. Oh, no, I think that had moved too. Okay, and then I'll move this down. Did I do it? Confusing. All right, let's turn off some of the stuff so I can see what I'm doing, because I don't know what's happening here. Turn off this, this. What is this part? I don't even know. All right, need that. Those are my details. That's that. Okay, that's the piece that needed to come down. Okay. This is, if I turn it on, okay, that goes below. I think that's the problem. Solo it out. Oh, it's the back. All right. Yeah, all right, so there's my back. This is, it's that part. Okay. This needs to come below. This is the, yeah. Let's move this down. Okay, there's those details again. And I think we are good. Let's turn back on the other stuff. Yeah. All right, so. Yeah, okay. So now I want to take this top piece, the piece that is, we'll call it the barrel, and make it wider. Just so it comes out on either side of the actual barrel of the gun there. There you go. So that's a little better. Turn on dynamic. Oh man, what happened to my, it's weird. It looks like all of my holding lines are gone. Let's bring them back. Solo it out. Yeah, it's just a block here. So insert some lines. And oh, I saw a piece. Okay, that's what that thing looks like on the top. All right, so I want this to have a bevel on it. So let's do this. I want to isolate just this piece. I want to hide split hidden. And then I'm going to go and add some bevels on this. Make sure I have my symmetry turned on, which now I do. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's get one on the top. Okay, I'll do that manually. But what I can do now is I can grab this piece here and slide it. Let's get rid of that center loop because that's gonna make it kind of whack here. Slide this piece down a little bit. Yeah, like that. Okay, and we can get rid of this also. Insert, get rid of this. All right, let's see what the front of this looks like. Yeah, so that part actually comes in. So I'm going to insert a loop here and grab this whole front and just kind of move it back a little bit. Not a lot. All right, and it looks like the we need to move that also. So now let me add a couple of holding lines. Insert. Insert. Oops. Insert there. Turn on symmetry. All right. And insert here. I don't know why I didn't do both sides. There and there. Dynamic, turn that on. It's saving. Round edges make the champion ZBrush shape clean. So I'd like to say hi. What's up, Huglion? No worries, all good, my friend. Thank you for stopping by. All right, so you can see that this, I need to add another holding line in the middle because it got a little too rounded there. So in fact, let's do this. I don't even want to do that. I want to crease this part, crease that. Now dynamic. All right, there you go. And actually, let's crease this. Let's see what that looks like. All right, so I don't love how tight that crease is. I'm gonna turn that down to maybe like a 1, no, maybe 2. And you see it changes it dynamically, which is perfect for me. Okay. So the other thing is it looks like that bottom part kind of comes in. So I'm gonna add another loop. See, I said I wasn't gonna spend all day on this, and now I'm over here like actually enjoying this. So that's not good. Let's isolate the bottom. I don't want to do this. All right, I'm going to just poly group by poly loop again. Get these parts and then I'll just kind of hide everything except for the part I want to be its own deal. Just let me do that. There you go. Yeah. Okay, so that's cool. Now I can just click on it and it masks it. Center up my gizmo and just kind of, oh, I want to mask it that way actually. And not rotate. I want to shrink it in a little bit. Like that. And maybe bring it up a little bit. Like that. So now let's turn on dynamic. And I'm also going to crease the edge that we just made. So crease. Now turn on dynamic. And let's also turn off the color. That's kind of sharp. All right, so not bad. Let's make it a little taller so it kind of lines up here. All right, a little bit better. That front, I think I have it dipped in too far now. So let's grab that and just move it back some. Oh, you know what? Oh, I know what that is. That's not the front at all. I have a Boolean there that I don't need anymore because I actually contoured it. So let's turn off live Boolean. This is the part. I don't need it anymore. I'll just move that down to the bottom and turn it off. Probably gonna need another Boolean at some point. There's that. What is this? Oh, that's the cut in for the other one. All right, so now turn Boolean back on. Now we can move that piece out a little bit. Like that. All right, and if we actually turn on dynamic on the nozzles, it's looking a little better. So you can see how if we go and really kind of finesse these pieces, we can make it look exactly like what we want. And like I said before, I'm printing this, so I don't want there to be any like serious hollows. I'm gonna copy that for the top part too. And let's see, let's turn on dynamic. Oh yeah, so let's solo it out. So this is what it looks like if I don't add holding lines and turn on dynamic. You just lose everything. So let's add a couple of let's crease it. Make sure I'm creasing the right. Now, yeah, make sure I'm creasing the right part. That's going to travel around it, so it's just easier to insert an edge loop and just pull it close on both sides. Both sides. Then turn on dynamic like that. And all right, now we have that, right? So if I duplicate this, I'm just holding down the Alt key, dragging it up. I am going to actually let's turn on transparent so we can see what's going on. Make this larger, smaller. I just want a cap. Put that like right there. No, let's make it smaller. Like right there. Try to center it up a little bit. Okay, like that. Turn off transparent. All right, we kind of got a gun kind of going on here. Until you look at the back, and the back is crazy. Look at that handle. You guys can't do that. I bet you nobody here, I bet you money nobody else can make a handle that good. Cash money. I got the Lego handle going on right now. All right, so let's make it look like the actual deal and not a joke. And then I can get back to a little bit of Misty Night, which is why y'all came. You didn't come to see me make guns. All right. Solo this out. So I have a little trigger and the handle as one thing. I think what I want to do is again split hidden, and let's first make the trigger thing. I'm going to use some real scientific terms here. The trigger thing is what I call it. All right, mine's not going to look anything like that because guess what? It's going to be like this small and her finger is going to be through it, so you can't even see it. So don't even bother telling me mine doesn't look like this. I'm not trying to hear all that, see? All right, make this a little bigger. And what's the back? All right, that's the back right there. Move it up some. That. Check the chat real quick. Hey, thank you. Yeah, more RAM is looking out. Thank you. Yeah. Give me a like and a follow if you are so inclined. Subscribe. I set up a little thing so that it should like make a noise if you subscribe and say your name on the screen somewhere. That's cool, right? All right, let's grab this part here and mess around with this a little bit. Oops, bring that all the way up to the top. I just want to get the general shape of this, and then I can get something that's close enough that we are good to go. This live boolean. So let's angle the back too. All right. So scale that is crazy. Let's fix this part because that's longer. Okay. Mr. Andy Mitch. 2 years in, when you place the reference image on the screen with a spline, click Z to dock it. I can rotate my model, but I cannot sculpt on it. The reference image. Oh, so this reference image, you're talking about this right here, Andy, is this is actually pure ref. So it's not using Spotlight, which means that I can move it wherever I want. I'm just kind of using it to look at a ton of different stuff at one time. But if you don't have pure ref, it is a fantastic application, actually. And it's like you can donate to them. So I'm not talking to Bixby. Get out of here.
I guess I misheard you.
That's because I'm not talking to you. I got this new phone, which is dope. It's like a really awesome phone, but it's very intrusive now. I don't even have to say the G word or the B word, and it like asks me, "Hey, what did you mean by that?" By B, I mean Bixby, by the way. See now. Now I said it and it didn't say anything. See? Real shady. Okay, so let's get that kind of what we want it to look like. I think, all right, again, I'm gonna need a bevel running down the edge. So let's do something a little different this time. Let's turn this around here. This probably should be longer too, I think. Okay, let's get that handle back and rotate it a little bit. Just get that kind of placed where I want it. And then let's move this back a little bit and stretch it out, I think. Oops, not rotate, stretch it out. Yeah, like that. All right. You guys let me know too, if you're tired of seeing me work on this gun and you want to see me get into some posing or something. This is what's so great about having this stream, is I can hop into whatever you want. Doesn't even have to be ZBrush. If you want to see something in Keyshot or not Blender yet, still gotta really get a handle on Blender, but if you guys want to see something in another application that isn't necessarily Pixelogic, because this is my stream, I can do whatever you want to see. Right, so just gonna come up here and let's do this. I'm gonna mask this too. Rotate this out a bit and maybe make it do this. I just want to get the general shape. So if I get this close, then when I go in and do my Boolean stuff, I don't have to do as much, you know. So that's kind of why I do it this way. All right, so it's kind of the shape, kind of. All right. So now let's turn on the live Boolean. Check this. Let's look at how wide some of these pieces are too. So it looks like this middle piece that actually goes up in the back. I missed that. This is the great thing about using ZModeler or doing this in a proper 3D app, is that box modeling this can give you, like, you can just keep going in and messing with it until you get the shape exactly how you want it. So it's just a little bump up. And then it has those cut-ins on the top too. So I can reuse the ones that I already have. Select them. I'm going to shrink them down too. Let's turn off live Boolean, select them. And let's make them a little smaller. That. Maybe move them down a little bit. And I can copy these. This. And repurpose them. So let's these up, maybe rotate them. This. Oh, I didn't rotate them all the way. Rotate them, hold down Shift. There you go. And also, let's do this. Group those, and then I'm going to group these. That. I will mask everything except for those. I'm going to move these over. Down. Yeah, like that. Actually, you know what? Hold on a second. W. Let's move these over here. And I'm going to, I'll have 3 rows of these. So first thing I'll do is grab these and make them thinner. Like I said, I wasn't going to try to make it look just like this, but now I'm like bugging out over how, you know, I should, well, I can't not do this thing. Also, I'm going to make these like really tall because I have that angle there and I want them to cut all the way through it. That. I'll hide these and delete them. Delete hidden. Now what I can do is I can just kind of mask everything but the top ones. Let that do its thing. I'll see if there's anything new in the chat. Yeah, the gun is clean. It's making you relaxed. Nice. Thanks, man. All right. Thanks, Mario. Answer the question for me. Let's see. I'm waiting for you to pose. Mike could use tips on the Batman. Okay. All right. So let me do a little bit more on this gun, and then let's do a little posing on Misty, because it's 11 now. Let's call the gun in like 5 minutes. But before I do, I want to make sure that I have enough of these pieces. So let's do the same deal where I duplicate. Bring that out to there. And I want to get rid of the front one. No, get rid of this. Delete hidden. Let's turn Boolean so I can see what I have here. All right, that piece goes too far, so let's get rid of that one too. Delete hidden. All right. Boolean. Duplicate and group. And this one, duplicate. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. All right, now duplicate this. That. It looks like my centerpiece is not in the right place, but let's grab this one. Maybe drag it back a little more this way, and then I can move this over. This and like this, and these have to come down some. This way, like this. All right, so now if I turn back on Boolean, it should be cut in, and turn off polyframe. There you go. So now we have something like that, which is cool, but like I said, I'm printing this, so I don't want these cutting in so deep, like they're crazy deep. I just want them to cut in a little bit. So let's mask the outside parts, and let's take these and scale them up. This, yeah, I just wanted to penetrate the top a little bit, so that's cool. That'll do. So, all right, so let's call it on the gun for now, and I'll come back to that later, but for now I'll save it as working gun, save. Yes. All right, let's move this out of the way. Nice, getting coffee. All right, cool. So, what else did I miss? What pass? Last thing, where's self? I don't know what that means. That looks like a bot. I don't know what that means. All right. So we like this. I've saved it. Now let's go back to her. Get my gizmo to line up. All right. Let's see what that gun looks like next to her. The scale is probably crazy, but yeah, it's all kinds of backwards. All right. Okay, so it's a big one. Doesn't need to be that big. Needs to be that big. What I can do though is I can use this, come back later and fix the back and then just swap the gun out later. So I'm going to Boolean this gun together. I'll do the parts that are finished actually. So this piece I will hide that, hide that, and move it down actually, and then come up to here. All right, so everything else I'm cool with. And in fact, that's fine. That'll work. All right, so now I'm going to Boolean this all together. And before I do, let's do a quick save. All right, so that's saving. Okay, all right. So now what I can do is I can go to Boolean, turn on the dynamic subdivisions because I got a lot of dynamic subdivisions going on here. I don't think anything is subdivided. And now I can hit make Boolean mesh. And hopefully what this is going to do is give me a clean mesh up here. And it did. All right, so that's pretty clean. And that's all one thing. What I generally like to do is look at it and make sure that I don't have any problems here. I usually go to the geometry and check the mesh integrity. All right, so no big issues with this. Now, at this stage, if I was doing this for somebody like Sideshow, I would dynamesh this all together as one thing. So let's do that. First, I'll make a copy, duplicate it, turn off the other one, save a history state, and then turn up my resolution on the dynamesh, turn on project, turn down blur, and hit dynamesh. And it's probably going to lose some stuff on here, but actually let's make it all one group and then hit dynamesh and see what happens. Oh man, that's not bad, actually. It's not bad. All right, so now we can project. Let's see if it will hold things like these screws because it got a little wild there. So subtool, project, history. Let's see what that does. A little better. Let's divide it. Project history. It's going to take a while. It's almost 1 million polys, but that's not bad. I mean, all things considered, that'll work. All right. So now we have this piece here. What I could do if I was ready to print, which I'm not, is I could then dynamesh it, or not dynamesh it. I could I could decimate it, and then I'd have a nice low topology to slice for the print. I will be doing that, but just not right now. So now we can copy this piece. Actually, before we do, let's go back to the gun. I'll get those pieces that I hid a little earlier. So take these pieces, which are just placeholders. Just a placeholder. And I'm going to Boolean mesh these also. So Boolean, make Boolean mesh. And that should be fast because this is like crazy low. All right, got the union mesh here. Copy it. Go to the hero mesh here and paste. All right, now we have kind of a gun for her to hold on to for the posing to go on. I don't have, oh, I do have subdivisions in that top part. How many subdivisions do I have? Let's see. I think I have 2. Geometry. Yeah, I got 2. All right, so let's come over here. I will divide this once. Ooh, no, that's a mess. All right, let's Dynamesh it. Okay, and project it. I don't know why I care, but I'm just gonna. Oh wait, no, not make Boolean mesh. I didn't mean to do that. Project is what I meant to hit. Project. All right. That and divide it one time. It's still, what the heck, man? Oh, it didn't Dynamesh. All right, so let's do this. I'm just going to decimate it. No, I'm not. Take it back. I'm going to Dynamesh it, actually. I didn't have projection, so Dynamesh. There you go. All right, and let's do a little lower, actually. Didn't look like it did anything. Geometry, Z remesh. Turn down that, turn up that. Z remesh. Should go pretty quickly. All right, good enough. And then I'll just project, and then divide and project. All right, cool. So there's our thing. This has 2 subdivisions. The piece on top has 2 subdivisions. So now I'll just merge this down to one thing, copy it, come back over to, I keep wanting to call her Foxy Brown, to Misty Night and paste. Very cool story, by the way. I actually interviewed the creator of Misty Night, which was crazy. Paste, let's paste. Because this guy has been doing comic books since the 70s. Really impressive. All right, scale this down some. And she's going to be holding it like here. Yeah, like that. All right. So. All right, so let's do some posing. She's pretty close to being done as far as all of the stuff goes. Which means that it's a good time to pose her. So the gun is its own thing. Let's do this. Let's take everything down to its lowest sub-D level. So all low. Oh, all low, not all high. All right, all low. All right, there she is. And now let's turn on the, or let's go to Transpose Master, T-Pose Mesh. Before I do, I'm going to save this. Probably a good idea. Save as. You never know. Let's see. When is could you key process? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Let's do it next Friday, man. Do it next Friday. I can do a little keying. I think I'll be ready because I'll have Luke Page about ready to go, and she should be ready to go. The sooner I get these done, the sooner I get them to Brad, and the sooner you can get them on my desk. So, cool. All right, good looking, man. All right, so now let's go to Z plugin, T-Pose Mesh. All right, it's gonna go through, select all this stuff, and kind of make it one thing. Okay. Which is cool. Now I'm gonna have to do some creative poly grouping here because what it probably did is, yeah, it kind of took all those poly groups I already had and made them one thing. So first thing I always do is selectively group things. Let's get this gun out of her face. All right. Okay, she's got one arm. Both arms are going to be bent. She's turning her head. Probably easiest to turn her head first. So let's isolate just her. Go get some groups. And I want these to be as clean as possible. But I gotta tell you, she has a collar that covers up the back of her neck, so I really don't need to stress that as much as I'm thinking. So let's group that part. Oh, geez. Hide that. Let's get her neck back. There you go. So that's not bad. So there's my neck. Head is close, but it's covered up by the afro, so it's all good. Let's get that part that wasn't quite right. Now what I like to do is, let's see. I'm gonna use a slice curve. Let me make life easier. Just do something like that. I do want, I want this to be all one group like that. So let's bring back the rest of the body. Her legs I don't even need her legs because they're completely covered. So let's, but I do need her waist. need a waist. All right, so let's slice that. Oops, that's not the slice. Slice this. All right, that's cool. And let's slice here. I hope YouTube doesn't like censor this now, because they were on some real Puritan mess. I had just the mesh up there and they were like, oh, it's nudity. It's just purple, man. Calm down. All right. All right. So she has pants on, so I don't really need the lower body, but I don't want to mess with the polygon count, so I'll keep it in there for now. Okay. Let's group the legs. And oh, I remember how I did it last time. So last time I think I just did something like this. It's close. Yeah, close. All right. So I want to get rid of this loop. Ah, crap. Get rid of this loop. Oh, you know what? Let's turn on double so I can see what I'm doing. There you go. Cool. All right, so that's the torso, the waist, rather, not torso. And then I'll auto group these legs. Doing on time, 11:20. All right, so I'm gonna do this probably for another, like till 12, and then wrap it up. And then I'll be back next week too. So if you're not already, give me a subscribe, and I will keep doing this as long as you want me to. All right, and her feet. Always gets close, like really close. Oh, I love when it chooses the same color like over and over again. All right, so let's hide this, hide these polys that it didn't select, and hide these, auto group. Auto group. Auto group. So this detailing of the stripe I have going down her leg, I'm probably gonna have to remake that. Probably. So I'm not gonna stress that too much, but I will get these knee pads separated. Let's see, turn off symmetry and just group and group. All right, so that's that. And let's get her blouse separated. Now I have her arm under there too. Don't need that arm. Not gonna see it. If you don't see it, you don't need it. I think the reason I kept it is because when I made the extraction to do her shirt, I lost the detail. like I was losing the detail for her arm. I did all this nice sculpting to get the the muscle mass and everything there, then I lost it. So that's why I kept that. That's fine. Let's group the neck, and then I think we'll call it for the groups. Ah, it's close. All right, there's my neck. Oh, come on. So close. All right, there's my neck. 12 times the charm. All right, so that's going to do it for that part. Let's separate her arm from her bicep from her elbow. And let's do one for where her hand kind of goes inside of the sleeve. Ooh, that's a lot of groups. All right. We need this arm needs to be selected and separated. You can see that I just have been doing some Sculptures Pro on this, so you can see the topology is real dicey right now. I'm going to cut this all apart anyway. I'll probably just be redoing this arm anyway. We can just get a kind of a proxy pose for this, and then when I actually cut these pieces apart and clean them up, I can fix it all then. All right, so that's that. All right, I think that is gonna do it. I do want all this holster and the gun and everything, because it's so snug on her body. I want all that to be one group. It's not really gonna move. All right, so that's cool. I think now we can start posing. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is turn her head. And did I? Okay, no, that's two separate groups. Also, I'm going to group her hair, earrings, and eyebrows and eyes as all one thing, because I don't want to take a chance on missing any of that stuff. All right, so that's all one thing. So now I can do something like just mask everything with that. Get my gizmo kind of centered up on her. And I usually do the head turn a little bit and then the neck turn as well. Other thing too, you got to make sure that it's centered on the way that this turns, or else you're going to have a bad day. So maybe what I'll do is I'll soften the mask a little bit, then I'll rotate. That's going to deform the neck a little bit, but that neck is going to turn also. So now let's grab the neck. and unmask that. Soften that. Mask. It's a little hard to see because of her neck piece here, the blouse, so I'm going to hide that. And just make sure that I'm centered everywhere, because if you're not centered with the gizmo, it's going to rotate from a point that you don't want it to. Okay, now I can mask the neck a little bit and rotate from the head up. Start to get that twist that I want. Now her head's going to twist down a little bit. I want to make sure that I don't put that head off kilter. That afro makes it kind of hard to tell what is right and what's not. So right now I want to select her neck again, mask the whole thing, and let's see, soften the mask a little bit. Now I can center up on, that's going to center on that afro. I wish I didn't do that. Let's move this up, up. Let's move this up. And you can see that the neck of her blouse is going to have to move because her neck moved back some. I think I'm twisting a little too much. Let's move it back. Her eyes are going to do some of the work. They'll be looking down towards the camera. All right, so that's a little bit better, I think. I'm gonna have to do some cleanup on that neck because it looks like it got a little wonky there, but that's okay. So now I want to isolate only her blouse, and now I can go in and I can kind of fix that stuff. Get back. Because it's low res like this, it's low poly. It's okay if I have to do these minor changes. It's not that big a deal. And I can also use that collar to kind of hide places that are a little worrisome. Do a little smoothing. I don't want to mess up I have some details going on in the top of her collar where that gold kind of trims, and I don't want to mess that up, so leave that alone. Make sure to mask that part out. All right. Looks like I lost. Ooh, I didn't mean to do that. All right, so now I can mask her neck and we get some more music. It's like I read that. Let's switch to a different thing here. Let's try. Let's see what that is. Oh no, I don't want that. Don't want that one. Let's try. I thought that there was some. All right, I'm gonna get some decent music. I can't listen. This is gonna put me to sleep, you guys. Lo-fi. Let's see what this is. Let's try that. Mr. Sanson, what is up? Are you gonna pose it right now? Yep, posing it right now. All right. All right, gotta isolate her head. Now I want to take this stuff and make it its own group again. So auto group that, and I actually want to I want to fix her neck, where it her chin rather, jaw. Her jaw is what they call it. The jaw. Let's fix that a little bit. Looks like it got a little crinkled up there. So that's cool. Let's mask the eyes. I want to rotate those. Now, this is going to be a little difficult. I'm going to have to hide this afro. It's making life real hard here. Let's hide the afro. Hide this gun. It's up in my face. Let's get rid of this headband. All right, now I can rotate her eyes. Oops. This is one of those things that would be easier if, let's do it this way. Center it. There you go. I was going to say it'd be easier if I could center on the eye instead of having to guess where it is. If it was on its own layer, then I could just turn on transparency. Transparency, and then I could see what I was doing. But I want to get it close, and then mask it, then unmask. Ah, crap. Hold up. I want to mask everything here, then bring it back. All right, so now I can do what I want to do, which is T. A little bit. See if that does its thing. That. It's funny how something as simple as getting the eyes lined up, looking where they're supposed to look, can change everything. I was just doing a piece for Sideshow, and it just wasn't feeling right for a while. I had two characters fighting each other, and then when I got the eyes to look like they were actually locked, oh man, It was money. And I think I'm going to have to kind of play with the direction her head is looking, because right now it feels wrong. That's okay. That's something I can mess with later. So these eyes, how am I doing on time? Okay. All right. It's closer. It's closer. All right. So now let's get this arm kind of where it's supposed to be. It's tucked in against her body. And then it's bent. So, oh, I didn't make the hands 2 seconds. There we go. Mask that. Actually, so I just try to center it on the joint for the character and then rotate. Because like I said, you know, if that center point isn't in the right spot, it's going to mess up everything. So I have just her arm isolated. Her back is kind of pitched back the way I have it already. Let's roll her arm back a little bit. And twist it. No, you know what? I might not have to. Maybe twist a little bit. And pitch it back a little bit more. That. Okay. So now I can hide that part. Mask that. Her elbow's going to get jacked up, but I don't really care because, like I said, I'm going to be redoing I didn't finish the mechanical arm, so I'm not even going to front. I'm going to have to finish it and then clean it up. So I'll be redoing that whole arm. Take this up from the elbow. Okay. All right, so that's not terrible. Mask from the forearm and soften the mask. So now I just have the forearm and the hand exposed. That is where it gets tricky. The forearm is one of those places where if you don't have it dead center, like I said, it looks like a spaghetti arm, and that's not really what I want. No offense to spaghetti arm people. Twist that a little bit. Yeah, now see, this is the difference between having a low poly mesh and posing and having high poly. So you see what happened here? That all has to be resculpted. No matter how soft I try to get that, that mask, there's just too much geometry there. And that's because I use Sculptris Pro and I didn't Z remesh it. But it's okay. Like I said, this is all going to be redone anyway. But for now, because it's just going to bug me, maybe I'll go in and kind of H polish out some of this a little bit. Clean this up. So just try to get it kind of close. Smooth it out, and then hit it with the edge polish. Smooth it out here. You know, as I look at this, it really kind of was pointless to rotate this in the first place because I just basically sculpted back what I had in the first place. Oh boy. It's all right. We make mistakes so we can learn, guys. All right. So what I can do now is I can mask her hand and try to figure out how that thing is holding the gun. I knew that those hands were going to be kind of difficult, so I had them as separate geometry, if you're wondering. Just twist it and then it comes back this way and then it kind of comes up. Yeah, something like that. A little bit like this. Oops, let's rotate it this way. All right, so something like that. Then we can grab our gun and start to figure out how that's going to be. She's got... Is that even possible the way she's holding that thing? It's uncomfortable, I'll tell you what. All right, so before I do her other arm, let's kind of get her legs the way we want them. And I think in order to get those legs right, I'm gonna hide her arms. So it can get, I want that S shape. Like I really want that S shape to her body. So let's hide hand, gun. Let's hide this stuff. Arm. Holster can go. All right. This is what I want right here. Now, because I made those groups, I kind of have everything I want done here. Again, it's going to be the pinstripes that kind of cause, not the pinstripes, but the detailing on her pants are going to be the issue. But it's all right. Oh, get some of that cheek in there. Soften it. Oops. Soften it. Okay. It's crazy. I mean, with the relaxed pose I had, it's like it was made for this thing. It's not a whole lot that needs to be done. But I think that leg is fine, actually. Let's do the other one. Now her waist is going to twist a little bit, and it's going to give us that look like the picture. So I maybe don't need to go as high with this leg, but I like to exaggerate it a little bit. That's one thing that my buddy Brad kind of taught me, is that if you exaggerate the pose, it just looks better. Like, it's less boring. Now what I do want to do, I want to do this. Let's just try it like this. Now I want to get that gizmo close to the front of the leg, because I'd rather there is pinching in the back. That's kind of how our legs work. And the front is a little more flexed. So something like this. All right, there's going to be some cleanup there, but it's okay. Let's do this. I'm going to hide the pinstripe part, and then I can just soften or smooth this a little bit. What's happening is it's folding on itself. So maybe take my inflate, just hit it a little bit, and then smooth. And you can see that the leg underneath of there is coming through. It's okay. We're not even going to keep that. When this is done, that's going to be trash. So if you're new to posing, just remember that as you change these muscles, they're going to flex, and so you might need to go in and add some volume in some areas, and then kind of take away some in other areas. But looks like I got about another 5 minutes maybe I can get a little bit of a twist to her waist, and then I'm gonna call it, you guys. Whoever stuck around for this whole thing, shout out to you. Thank you for coming in the first place. But if you stayed for this whole thing, that's crazy. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I didn't want to do that. That. It's funny, just the things. Ooh, she was thick. She was thick, y'all. Okay. What did I want to do? I want to move that part too, so that masks. Everything else is unmasked. Center up on her waist. Try to center up on the waist. And let's see, how is she turning? She's turning. Yeah. Just gonna make sure that spine doesn't get knocked out of alignment. So I really soften that. I think we have time to straighten out these feet, and then I'm done for real this time. Uh, Make sure you have it on her ankle. The center of the gizmo should be centered on her ankle. And I'm going to invert everything except for what I want to mess with here. And then straighten it out. Let's see. Thanks, guys. Chuck Taylor. Yo, Chuck Taylor is a very, if you're not following him, you got to follow Chuck Taylor. That's my man from way back. He is a very nice MC. And if you are already subscribed to my YouTube, look on my videos for the self-portrait. I had to paint a self-portrait, and all of the music on there was Chuck. And like that's all his lyrics. So it's very, very dope. Yeah, we're about to collabo real big. Real big. So yeah, if you're a fan of hip hop, definitely please check out Mr. Chuck D. Um, and then we can rotate this one. This leg is kind of twisted a little bit. So probably gonna have to kick this leg back a little more and then bend the knee forward some. But oops. But you guys get the idea. So let's do this. Before I get up out of here, I'm going to come out of Transpose Master and we can look at it, do a quick little render and see what we have. All right. Quick save real quick just to make sure. So, okay. It's wild. I wonder if you can only listen to so many songs. All right. So let's see. Z plug in. I want to go T pose sub T. That's going to shoot through all those parts. Close her up. Did it get everything? Yeah, looks like it. All right, so now let's go all high. And it's going to take all those polygroups up. You can see that I need to go in and fix some areas, but I mean, not for nothing. This is not a bad first shot at this thing. Her eyes are looking crazy. She got those crazy eyes. I wouldn't mess with her right now. So I got to work on the eyes. Sketchy. She has like wild eyes right now. But let's do a quick render. See what it looks like. Maybe get some rim light on her. Yeah, that didn't do anything. Light. Oh, because I have just the light is like right on her. Let's put that light there. Let's put this other light. Let's move this over here. Some backlighting from below. All right. So usually when I'm posing, like right out of Transpose Master, I'm gonna have to tweak it. But once I'm done, like this is not a bad start, and her topology didn't get too messed up. Even that arm that I had to resculpt doesn't look all that bad. But when it's done, it will. When it's done, I'm gonna make it, look like this. And maybe next week we'll hop into Keyshot. I'll show you how to do some beauty renders too. All right. But nice, Dave West. Super producer Dave West is down too. So yeah, Chuck Taylor, Dave West, check those two guys out making beautiful music. Everybody that came in to stay with me today, thank you very much, and I will see you next Friday. If you can, please share my links with a friend if you like it, and if you're not already, subscribe. All right. So I think that's going to do it. I'll see you guys. Peace.